Hello, and welcome to Stretching the Word. I'm your host, Sister Valerie, and not today, devil, just not this year. We look all on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, whatever, our social media preference is. And, you put your profile up there and then beside it says, you happy, you sad, you're in a relationship. Oh, wow. That's a big thing now. Everybody's in a relationship, And, okay, here's the news flash. I'm in several relationships, girl. Yeah, really? Y'all didn't know y'all was in several relationships. No, y'all just think, oh, I'm in a relationship. And most of the time you thinking about, you connected with a man or with a woman, because that's what a relationship is. It's a bond between two or more people, an interactive thing. So yeah, the minute get a male or you get a female, and you liking them, and y'all might have dated a couple of times, phone calls, cyber, social meeting, whatever, but now you in a relationship. So what are you really saying? Have y'all bonded? Are y'all connected? Do y'all understand even what you're talking about? There are at least 3, some people say 4 different types of relationships. So yeah, I know I'm, overthinking it, overdoing it, but sometimes that be me. But I just want you to know, just because you with a man or with your woman, that's not the only type of relationship. Because you have a relationship with your family, at least you should have a relationship with some members of your family. I already know everybody in the family don't get along, but you should have some form of relationship with somebody in your family. So you got that family relationship, you go to work, you got that work relationship. Everybody don't get along at work either, So, but you do have, some form of work relationship. Then you have that acquaintance relationship, she's not really my friend. I just speak to her. We just he and ha, when we go to the break room, but that's just my acquaintance. She's not really my friend. He's not really my friend. That's just my lunch buddy. That's all that is, just my lunch buddy, as they say, that I don't like the term, but they be with the, oh, that's just my work husband, that's my work wife, that's my what? But each to his own. I'm not gonna talk about you. I'm not gonna judge you if you that one that got a work wife or a work husband or whatever. I'm not going to judge today. But then, you got that romantic relationship. And most of the time, that's the only relationship that we really kind of focus on. Be that romantic relationship. Yeah, I'm bonding with him. We're connecting. We're interacting. But what is your relationship based on? Nobody thinks about their relationship. I take that back. I should not say nobody. But do you think about having a relationship with God? Do you really think about that? Once you get to know what a real relationship is, you will want a relationship with God. What are you looking for in a hallelujah? What are you looking for in a relationship? Do you even know what you're looking for in a relationship? And I just want to be with somebody, anybody. I just want to be connected. Somebody to call me, somebody to come by my house, somebody I can be seen with. And that's why you may wind up with a toxic relationship. You wind up being controlled, manipulated, or you vice versa. He controlling or manipulating you, you controlling or manipulating him. That's not a relationship. That's just not. So a relationship, first of all, you have to have communication in a relationship. How you gonna get to know each other if you're not talking, if you don't talk to each other. I don't know what you want. I don't know what you like. You don't know what I like. You don't know what I've experienced down through the years. I don't know what you've experienced down through the years if we don't talk about it. When you get with somebody, you have to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. You can't be, no, let me see, let me think. No, man, I ain't gonna tell her that, cause she go, no, I ain't gonna tell him that, cause then he gonna think I'm this, and she gonna think I'm that. No, let me think here. What I'm gonna tell him? You have to have open and true communication, unless you're not gonna have a relationship if you don't talk to one another. And the same way, spiritual. If you're not talking to Jesus and allowing him to talk to you, you're not having a relationship, because he don't know what's going on with you, but he does know what's going on with you. But he wants you to tell him what's going on with you. He wants you to ask him certain things. And then he wants you to allow him to tell you the answer and what to do. He wants you to allow him to lead you in the relationship. Some of us, we always got to be the dominant person. Whether it's a man or a female, we got to be the dominant one. And sometimes, once again, that can go into toxic. But with God, he's not going to lead you into anything undesirable, anything. He's not going to lead you into anything hazardous. He's not going to lead you into anything that's bad for you. But you have to communicate. We have to communicate if we have a relationship with God. You can't say, I got a relationship with God. Well, let me see. When was the last time you talked? To God. And people want to get all deep in this and that and the other. Prayer, it's a simple thing. Some people want to dress it up to the hills. Well, you have to use this word and that word. You have to be in this position and that position. No, you just have to talk and address him respectfully. There is a correct and a incorrect way to talk to God. But you will learn this as you talk to God. Because he will tell you, well, I know you're a little angry. I know you're a little rough on the edge. But, bring that down a notch and we're going to talk about this. You think God don't talk like that? He does. But in a relationship, you'll find out that that's the way he will talk to you. He knows where you are. So we want to have this interactive relationship with God. So we want him to talk to us. We want to talk to him. Then, like I said, you have to do that in truth. You can't be lying, because he already know. We get in them relationships, and like I say, I'm not going to tell him that. I'm not going to tell her that, because then she going to judge. They going to judge. God ain't doing no judging. He already know. He just want to deliver you. He want to take you out of whatever the situation is in the relationship. He's there to help you, to bring you up, not to degrade you, not to demeanor you, not to put you down. He's there to help you in the relationship. Some people get into a relationship, you'd be surprised, just to further demeanor you, just to further, make you feel low. That's one of them toxic things again, But then you have to have faithfulness. Oh, girl, they got to be faithful, because I ain't shit. I'm tired of shit. And you're right. But once again, with the faithfulness, God said he'll never leave you or forsake you. He's there with you all the time. You ain't got to worry about him, catching him. Oh, girl, like, he said he was going to be at work. I got to go by the job and round the parking lot several times, He said he get off at 11 o'clock. Well, I'm going to be sitting out there at 11:45 to see what time he come out. You know, yeah, she said, man, that she wasn't off today, or she was off today, but I called the phone, she not answering that. Yeah, she said she ain't still messing with him, but I don't know. I heard some noise. I seen her, she was on Facebook, she was over there, and she wouldn't let me see it, and when I get a chance, I'm gonna sneak through and I'm gonna go through they phones and this. It's called trust and faithfulness in a relationship. God is faithful. He's more faithful to us than we are to him. He don't go around cheating on us, and we be cheating on him, we be lying to him, we be doing everything to God. And he knows this, but yet, what? He remains faithful in the relationship. He don't go nowhere. He stay right there, they're gonna get better. He's always got that hope, that optimistic, that we're gonna get it together. We're gonna get it right. We're gonna, become faithful. We're gonna trust in him with everything. We're gonna give him everything, because you like, no, I'm not giving that person all of me. No, I'm over that. I did that with the last person, and no, I'm not giving them all of me. I'm not giving them nothing. No, they can't do that. No, no. But you want the relationship to work. But you not giving all of yourself. I understand you don't want your heart broke over and over and over and over and over again. But that's why you have to communicate. You just can't go out there and grab anybody and have a relationship. Because then you'll wind up, like I said, in something toxic. Possibility of getting your heart hurt, your feelings hurt, and being, abused, misused, in the whole nine. So we want a relationship. We want a bond with somebody that, is concerned about what we're concerned about. Somebody that's going to help build us up, not pull us down. So while you got this relationship that you're so happy about, make sure that it's the right relationship. But if you have a godly relationship, first of all, guess what? You won't wind up with a toxic relationship if you learn to talk, communicate with God, be faithful to God, trust God, and give God all of you. And then you'll have a good, natural relationship. Then one other thing I would like to invite all of the Northwest Indiana viewers, if you're not doing anything, on Sunday at 12 o'clock, you can come out and join us at the Prayer Tower Fellowship Church. Prayer Tower Fellowship Church, under the leadership of Pastor Collins. It's a good place to come visit. So look us up. We're on the way up. Hope to see you Sunday at Prayer Tower Fellowship.